All right, buckle up, everybody, because we are diving deep today.
Deep into some fascinating predictions about the rest of 2024 and early 2025.
You know that YouTube channel Hypnovibes?
With Naomi, the hypnotherapist?
Yeah, her. We've got some really interesting insights from one of her sessions about energetic shifts, personal transformations, and even a sneak peek at what might be in store for real estate.
And the really cool thing about all this is that it's not just, Naomi's personal take on things. We're talking about hypno-channeling here. So Naomi's connecting with, a higher consciousness to bring us these messages.
Like tapping into some universal wisdom.
Exactly.
So tell me a little bit more about this particular session. What jumped out at you?
So in this session, you, meaning the channeled energy speaking through Naomi, not Naomi herself, gave us some pretty mind-blowing glimpses into the future.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What kind of glimpses?
Well, one of the biggest things was this major energetic upgrade that supposedly is happening in August 2024.
August 2024.
Yeah, and this isn't just, a subtle shift or anything.
Right.
It's described as a pivotal moment, almost like a fork in the road energetically.
Okay.
That could determine whether someone stays on their current path or shifts to a whole new experience.
So what are we talking about, moving to a different planet?
No, not like that. Think of it more like aligning with a completely different vibration, a different way of being. And this energetic upgrade in August could be the catalyst for that shift.
For those who are ready.
Exactly. For those who are ready, they might find their connection to their higher selves strengthening, helping them navigate life's, lessons with more clarity.
Okay, I get it. So what about those who aren't quite ready for this shift?
Well, you also mentioned a smaller event happening a little bit sooner in June 2024 that might shake things up a bit.
Oh.
Especially for those who are sensitive to energy. It's like a cosmic nudge,
A cosmic nudge.
Yeah, prompting us to let go of what no longer serves us.
So kind of like a cosmic spring cleaning. Getting rid of old baggage to make room for something new.
Exactly. But that sounds, kind of rough, if you ask me.
It could feel that way at the time, yeah. But remember, turmoil often precedes growth. It's about shedding those old patterns and aligning with the energy of the future.
Interesting. But you didn't get into specifics about what this June event will be, did you?
Not really. That's the thing about these predictions. Sometimes the details are a bit fuzzy.
Right.
And I think that's intentional.
How so?
It's about staying open to possibilities, trusting that things will unfold as they should, and the effects, will vary depending on individual needs and where they are on their journey.
I can definitely see how embracing the unknown is a theme here. There's one big unknown that I know a lot of people are worried about. Any mention of World War III?
Nope. You were crystal clear on that point. No World War III.
At least not in this reality.
Right.
Well, that's a relief to hear. But I'm guessing some folks are still feeling anxious.
Especially about things like the economy and the real estate market. What did you have to say about that?
Okay, so when it comes to real estate, you indicated that a major drop in prices or rental rates isn't likely anytime soon, like even extending into early 2025.
Oh, wow. So no bargain basement deals on houses anytime soon.
Doesn't seem like it. You explained that for a crash of that magnitude to happen, we'd likely need a complete overhaul of the current financial system. It's not about predicting specific numbers, it's more about understanding the bigger picture,
That's a good point. So even if we don't have all the answers about what the future holds, maybe the key is to stay adaptable and focus on what we can control.
Exactly. And that's what you were saying. Clinging to predictions or expectations, it can actually block us from seeing new opportunities. It's about embracing the uncertainty, trusting that we'll be guided to where we need to be.
So instead of worrying about things like the real estate market, maybe we should be focusing on something else entirely, like our passions.
Yes. And this is where things get really exciting. You emphasized that pursuing our passions isn't just about personal fulfillment. It actually creates a ripple effect,
And our joy becomes contagious.
Exactly. Raising the collective vibration and inspiring others. You even addressed someone named Jessica directly.
Oh.
Urging her to keep pursuing her passion because it serves a greater purpose.
I love that. It's like a reminder that our passions aren't just hobbies.
Right.
They're powerful forces that can make a real difference.
Absolutely. But let's be honest, sometimes fear can get in the way. Did you have any advice for dealing with that?
That's a great question. Fear can be a real roadblock.
Yeah, so you offered some really practical guidance on managing fear, using the example of someone named Christina who seemed to be struggling with it. And what's fascinating is how you framed fear.
How so?
Not as something to be avoided, but as a reflection of our inner beliefs.
So it's not about pretending we're not afraid. It's about understanding where that fear comes from.
Exactly. You even use this analogy of an amplifier. Focusing on fear only makes it louder.
Oh, I get it.
But if we shift our focus to positive actions and feelings, then we amplify those instead.
I love that analogy. That is so powerful. It's so simple, but so powerful.
It is, and it ties in perfectly with the advice to pursue our passions. When we're doing what we love, those positive feelings just naturally amplify.
It creates a ripple effect.
Exactly. And those good vibes can counteract fear and inspire others, so it's almost like this positive feedback loop.
Right. The more we focus on our passions, the less power fear has over us.
Did you give any, specific techniques for managing fear?
You did.
Yeah.
And it's surprisingly simple, really. Acknowledge and observe your fears without judgment. Allow them to exist without giving them power.
Wait, so instead of trying to push those fears away, we just observe them?
Yeah, it might sound counterintuitive, but it's about creating space for those feelings without letting them dictate our actions.
Without letting them define our reality.
Wow, I've never thought of it that way before. It's like we're taking away fear's power by simply acknowledging its presence.
That's it. And it ties back to that bigger theme of embracing the unknown. We don't have to have all the answers. We just need to be willing to face our fears with curiosity and compassion.
It's also fascinating. I mean, we're getting some incredible insights here. Before we go too much further, I think it's time for a quick recap of what we've covered so far.
Definitely. Let's break down those key takeaways for our listeners. Okay, so where were we?
We've been exploring these predictions from you, the channeled energy speaking through Naomi on Hypnovibes.
Right. And so far, we've talked about those big potential shifts happening in 2024.
Like that energetic upgrade in August.
Yeah, and the message about World War III or, well, the lack of it.
Which is a huge relief.
Yeah, and then those insights into the real estate market.
But I think the real gems are the practical takeaways about managing fear and going after our passions.
Totally agree. I mean, it's one thing to hear about all these cosmic shifts, but it's even more impactful to learn how we can actually, use these ideas in our own lives.
And you know me, I love anything actionable.
Of course. Well, speaking of action, you shared this interesting anecdote about two dermatologists.
No.
And it really highlights the power of energy and intention. You ever notice how some people just have this calming presence?
Oh, totally. I remember this one time I had to get a filling at the dentist.
Uh-huh.
I'm usually terrified of needles.
Oh, me too.
But this dentist was so gentle and had such a reassuring voice that I barely even felt it.
That's exactly what you experienced with the second dermatologist, Catherine. The first dermatologist, even though she was, medically skilled, she had this anxious energy.
Oh, no.
That kind of amplified your own worries.
I can see how that would happen.
Yeah. But Catherine, the second one, she was so calm and confident.
So it wasn't just about the treatment itself. It was about the energy of the whole interaction.
It was. And it shows that healing is more than just physical. It's emotional and energetic, too.
So you felt like Catherine's positive energy actually helped with the healing?
Exactly.
Wow, so intention really does matter.
It really does. And it makes you think, how many other areas of our lives are affected by the energy we bring to them?
Right.
It's definitely something to think about. And it's also a reminder that it's important to find practitioners who resonate with us energetically.
Yeah, I think it's like that saying, your vibe attracts your tribe.
Absolutely. We tend to attract people and experiences that match our own energy.
So if we want more positivity and healing in our lives, we got to cultivate that energy within ourselves first.
And remember how you talked about the ripple effect of pursuing our passions? Well, people who are passionate about their work, they often have that contagious positive energy.
That makes so much sense. I've definitely felt that energy from teachers or mentors or even friends who are really excited about what they do.
Right.
It's inspiring.
It really is. It's like their enthusiasm translates into this powerful intention to help others.
To share their gifts with the world.
Yeah, and that can have a huge impact.
So following our passions isn't just about personal fulfillment then. It's about contributing to a collective healing.
I think so. A raising of
It's
vibrations.
beautiful, isn't it? The idea that our passions can actually have a healing effect.
It is. And it brings us back to that idea of hypno-channeling and tapping into a universal consciousness.
We're all connected.
Yes, we're all part of this larger web of energy. We're constantly influencing and being influenced by each other.
Like we're all threads in this giant tapestry, right?
Beautiful.
Each thread is unique and important, but together they create something amazing.
And when we align with our passions, with our higher selves, we're not just adding to the beauty of it.
We're strengthening it.
Exactly.
Wow. That's a powerful visual. It makes you realize that we're not just, individuals striving for our own success. We're interconnected beings.
Co-creating a shared reality.
And the more we embrace that interconnectedness, the more we tap into our own power to make a difference.
Absolutely. And it reminds us that our choices, our intentions, our actions, they all have a ripple effect.
Okay, so with that in mind, let's go back to that advice about embracing the unknown.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
I mean, that seems so crucial right now with all the uncertainty in the world.
You were really urging us to approach the future with curiosity and openness rather than, getting stuck on predictions or expectations.
It's about letting go of control.
Surrendering to the flow of life, trusting that we'll be guided.
We don't have to have all the answers.
And that's okay.
It's actually really freeing.
It is. It frees us up to be open to new things.
To the unexpected.
Exactly.
I love that. It's like we're saying yes to the mystery of life.
Even when it feels uncertain.
Even when it feels scary.
Remember what you said about the real estate market. It wasn't about giving a definite answer.
It was about encouraging us to trust.
To trust that we'll be taken care of.
No matter what happens.
And that's a lesson that applies to so much more than just real estate.
Our careers, our relationships, our personal growth. Embracing the unknown makes us more present, more adaptable, more resilient.
It's about surrendering to the journey. Yeah. Trusting that we have the strength to handle whatever comes our way.
And that's where the advice about managing fear comes in.
Right.
If we can observe our fears without judging them, we can move through all this uncertainty with more courage.
With more grace.
And, you reminded us that we're not alone in this journey.
We never are.
We have support from our higher selves, from the universe, from this whole network of energies that are guiding us, protecting us.
So reassuring, right?
It is. It's like knowing there's a safety net.
Even when things feel scary.
Exactly. And when we tap into that support, when we trust in the unfolding of our lives,
we open ourselves up to so much more.
To endless possibilities.
It's like we're saying yes to adventure, to growth, to the magic of life.
I love it.
So what do you think? Feeling inspired?
Definitely. I mean, so many great insights today about pursuing our passions, managing fear, embracing the unknown.
It's been a really enlightening exploration, all thanks to the wisdom you shared through Naomi on Hypnovibes. I think we've covered a lot.
We have.
But before we wrap up, there's one more important message from you that I think deserves its own, time in the spotlight.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. What is it? You're killing me. What is it?
So throughout the session, there was this theme about raising our consciousness.
Cool.
You really emphasized that we can all tap into this higher level of awareness. And that it's crucial for dealing with, everything coming our way.
It makes sense with all this talk about energetic upgrades and shifting realities.
Right.
But what does it actually mean to raise our consciousness? It sounds kind of, I don't know.
It's a little abstract, yeah.
Yeah.
Think of it as expanding our perception.
Okay.
Moving past that limited ego-driven view to connect with something bigger than ourselves.
So we're turning into a wider frequency.
Exactly. A broader channel of information. And when we do that, we start seeing the world differently.
We become more intuitive.
More intuitive, more connected to our inner guidance, making choices that are truly best for us.
That sounds really empowering. But how do we actually do it? Is it like meditation? Yoga?
Those can help, for sure. But you also mentioned some simpler things we can do every day.
Like what?
Like practicing gratitude?
Oh, focusing on what we're thankful for.
Exactly. When we do that, we shift our energy from lack to abundance.
We see the blessings.
Yeah, even the small ones. And that opens us up to receiving even more good stuff.
It's like raising our vibration.
Exactly. And that higher vibration makes it easier to connect with our higher selves, with that universal wisdom that's always there.
So just like keeping a gratitude journal or making an effort to appreciate things, that can help raise our consciousness.
It can. And you also talked about being mindful of our thoughts and actions. You know how we all have those negative thought patterns?
Oh, tell me about it. It's like a broken record in my head sometimes.
But the key is to become aware of those thoughts without judging ourselves.
Okay.
Notice them, acknowledge them, and then shift our focus to something more positive.
It's like we're taking control of our mental radio station.
Exactly. Tuning into a better channel. And the more we practice this, the easier it gets.
So we're training our minds to focus on the good stuff.
Yes. And it's powerful stuff. Like, we have this ability to create our own reality by choosing to raise our consciousness.
And remember that ripple effect we talked about.
Oh, yeah. It's huge. When we raise our vibration, we help raise the collective vibration too.
So by practicing gratitude, being mindful, focusing on the positive, we're not just helping ourselves.
We're helping create a better world for everyone.
I love that.
And for those who want to explore these ideas further, you specifically recommended Naomi Shu's book series, The Next Level You.
I've heard of those. I think I need to check them out.
Definitely worth a read. They're full of practical tools for anyone who's ready to tap into their full potential and, well, live a more fulfilling life.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty inspired after this deep dive. We've covered so much. Predicting the future, managing fear, raising our consciousness. What a journey.
It really has been. I think the biggest takeaway for me is this. We have so much more power than we think to shape our reality, both individually and collectively. By embracing the unknown, pursuing our passions, and consciously choosing to raise our vibration, we can create a better future for ourselves and the world around us.
That is a beautiful sentiment, the perfect note to end on. So, to everyone listening, remember, you have the power within you to create the life you want. Embrace the unknown, trust your gut, and never stop raising your consciousness.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep shining your light.
Now, I want you to go to a little bit the timeline that's a little bit, you can say the future, a couple months from now, or by this 2024. And I want you to go to some important events and see if we can understand what will be happening, what is something that we're allowed to know. That does not mean we are going to prepare for that. This is just for us to know. All that the purpose for this session, for this channeling, is to make us understand that we don't need to be too terrified or get confused because a lot of things are happening. So on a count of three, you just go to some important event, time, location, so that can make us understand more what's going on, what is going to happen in this year. 1, and 2, and 3.
There will be a big energetic upgrade in the month of August. It's not something that people can see, but it will decide whether some people will still stay on this version of Earth or not. So the decision is still ongoing.
So this is upgraded.
It's unnoticeable to the human eye, yes.
And so what happens after that?
Those who are ready to experience a new Earth will either continue on their path as they are, or they will allow themselves, or the higher selves would be more in touch with them, as in they will feel the connection more stronger to the higher self so that they can maneuver through lessons in their life to be of the appropriate vibration. June is going to be something as well. It's a smaller event compared to August. But we cannot say and go into detail of what it is because it's different for different versions of Earth.
But is that something we might feel something?
Those who are sensitive to energy may be able to feel it. And they may even go through their own event of turmoil then, yes. Or it can play out the opposite way. It's just depending on what they need to experience at that moment. That we cannot speak to. Allow it to play out, yes. It's bad in terms of the human eyes and the human lens, yes, but it's necessary for things to sort of play out in a explosive way, as it always does, yes. No, there is no possibility of a third world war. We can say that for certain. In this reality that you are in, no.
But we're not always here.
You're always changing, yes. But there's no need to worry about it. It's not even within your yes.
So let's say I have a concern or a plan that I think people who have, because basically I want to talk about real estate market. So the price, let's say the sales price or rental rate, they will drop, let's say in this year?
That is uncertain. And even if they do drop, it won't be within this year. We don't see that.
So if that happens is
For it to happen, there needs to be an overall deconstruction of the financial system. It's not just real estate market alone. It's usually a domino effect.
we don't know if this is too close. Can we know anything that's going to happen, let's say, at the beginning of 2025?
I understand that there's a lot of curiosity about it, but the best thing to do is just to embrace it as it comes.
I see. I'm talking to Jessica.
Yes.
And so every channeling is still, it's always you, or it doesn't have to be this way.
I come out when appropriate.
Very good. And I always appreciated your way of explaining things. It's very clear. Anything that you want to take this opportunity to let Jessica know?
Just keep going in terms of her passion.
I think she's doing that. What's the reason for her not to?
It serves everyone if some person follows their passion.
Right.
Because it's a ripple effect. It's a domino effect. People see that. And if they see that you're doing so well, they want it as well, and they start to do it themselves.
And
they don't have to know you.
They just feel the energy.
Because you just give off a lighter vibration. It's a very practical one in the way he explains it.
But when people say, and Bashar was saying, did you follow the formula?
It's simple. Follow the formula, as he says.
If we have fear, okay, wait, since you're here, so you can kind of that the energy of this person, his name is Krishna, and he came to do mushroom, and he's still afraid, or yeah.
Is he afraid of himself? He seems to be afraid of himself. Does he think he's a bad person?
A lot of things that, let's say he did wrong, he can believe that because he's a bad person.
It could be because he thinks that, let me tap into his energy 1 second.
I'm just kind of surprised there.
Because everything is a reflection of himself and how he feels about himself.
But it's up to him.
It's completely up to him and who he chooses to be.
Mm-hmm. If he this does not serve him, and this is just something he had enough, and he can get out.
Yes, but is he there yet?
Right. But when he was in the journey and he saw, let's say, between pipes, so he said there's like almost a village.
Again, all the visuals that he's seen are all metaphorical.
Uh-huh.
It really depends on what he got out of and how he felt when he was in it and what it meant to him.
Yeah. The reason I asked about this client is because I don't know what's the best way to tell him, but it's really up to him.
It's up to him to decide. He needs to see himself clearly.
But what he can do
to become more in touch with his heart. Yes. Start doing things that make him just feel good. Right now, he does pay a lot more attention to fear than anything else. And how does that serve him? It's also not about what can I do to make me feel less fear. It's about what can I just do to make myself feel good? What are the things that I can do? And it's not so much of a focus on fear in itself.
Right. Because when you focus, you give that energy.
Yes, and he's creating it in many ways.
And you enlarge it.
Yes.
You're like amplify it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So if you focus on something else, but of course that's supposed to be something that makes him feel excited, right? Anything.
Yes.
And you're walking.
Yes.
Walking in the park.
Yes.
And then he will focus less on fear itself.
Yes, and just letting him know that if he feels it, he can just learn how to observe it. Allow it to stay. Make friends with it.
Right.
And not just resist it and tell himself, I feel so scared, I'm helpless.
And in a way, I did not see anyone who is feeling to this degree. But it's all created by us.
Yes. We all choose who we want to be.
Right, that's a very good suggestion that he can just observe his own fear and say, I see you.
Yes.
And I feel you, and I am with you, like here, right? I'm not running away.
Yes.
And then if we can do that, then you feel, oh, I think I'm okay. So let's say if we have some pain, this is what I came up with. Mine is itchiness. And I, instead of scratching, I feel very frustrated. And I talk to myself and say, I'm with you. I know you're here. I need to learn something positive. I don't know what that is yet, but I'm with you. And I know that it's not easy for you to do this for me because you are performing, right, this event for me. And so I really appreciate you are doing this for me.
Yes. Also give thanks to your skin as well.
And say,
thank you for being here. We're going through this together as well.
right, I did that. And then immediately,
Yeah, you shift it to a new reality by changing your thoughts.
And I remember,
Dermatologist.
and this one person, she's very, in a way, I think if I don't have enough awareness, I will be really, really depressed. Then she said, you don't have to understand, you have eczema. And because I understand much better than before, just don't take what she said seriously. And she was emphasizing that you need to use all the, soap and the cotton clothes, whatever. Okay.
The belief that she has and that she was taught.
And I just couldn't take what she said seriously. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to go to another doctor today and see what she will say. And she, okay, but she did not say you don't have anything. But because her energy, her name is Catherine, and her energy is very light, and I feel that. And she did not make this a big deal. And she gave me some cream, the ointment, and I think it's not even the thing itself, it's her energy. And after I used for 2 days, I got so much better.
Yes, exactly. You're right. It is the exchange of energy. It was also her true intention to help you.
See, she was wearing a mask. I cannot see her face that well, but it doesn't matter. I felt everything's right.
Mm-hmm.
I felt everything's going to be okay.
Yes.
So that really gives me this understanding that when I'm talking to client, I know what to do.
Yes, and also tapping into her own energy. She's exactly where she needs to be, and she's doing her path. And people who are usually doing their path can have the energy to help others.
And right, she probably feels excited about what she does, and so she doesn't have anything that makes me feel she's very tired.
Yes.
People bother her all the time, and she has no time for little thing. I felt very strongly that the two different approach. She's she did not do this on purpose, but in a way, she's gonna make me just feel much worse after the visit. But the other one is totally the opposite. I almost feel like as soon as I see her face, I'll be fine.
You were right.
And I'm not like a Jessica, I can feel entity's energy, but that I felt so clearly.
You felt her true intentions, which were pure.
And this is something that we always can feel.
Yes, to various degrees in other people and to various degrees of awareness as well.
I was not able to do this before. And the rush, and it really becomes better. And in a way, I almost feel like I miss it. I miss the scratching. I'm so used to that. I feel like, oh, something is not there. Now that's something that I created, and for me to learn something from it. And I'm still on the way to, I don't know exactly what that is. I know it's some sort of a resistance. I think I'm still feeling that I'm resisting, and I will have awareness about it, at least.
Yes. It's also about the people that you meet on the path that are helping you realize.
And so, for example,